The Medicine Hat Regional Airport will be receiving a facelift as the city has invested $3 million into the airport.
We've approved the budget for the next 3 years. In this budget, there's an investment of $3 million for the building itself. It's a bit too small. And that's for handling of all the luggage and making sure that a lot of people can come in. Security measures, for example, now take a lot of space. And you have to have a fair size waiting room. Of course, you have to make bathrooms available and whatever. We have a restaurant in there. It's a bit cramped for space. So all of this is the main investment that we have to put in. The second thing is we had to determine what goes around the airport. In other words, what sits on the property. And we have come to the conclusion it has to be people who are oriented towards aeronautics, that will use air for their service, whatever that is. And that could be as much for learning how to fly as it is for maybe courier service and transportation of people, maybe goods. Particularly in our case, because we're close to a military base. And we know that it really can get engaged in the summer with the British Army Bathurst being there and training and whatever. I mean, thousands of soldiers are coming through.
Boucher says as a city, they need to look where the investment is.
And if I look at this report, for example, we received last year, we're the lowest city in Canada of all the ones that they've looked at. Per 100 people, we have 0.5 travel, 0.5. I mean, this is the lowest. Calgary, on the other hand, has the highest in Canada. In other words, a lot of people from around Calgary actually drive there to fly. So we have a lot to improve. Lethbridge is the second lowest. And what that means to me is, from an economic development point of view, if we had more people traveling, the cost would go down. So if the cost went down, it's a bit of a vicious circle. But if the cost goes down, actually more people will want to travel. And the other thing is for us, what makes it difficult for the airport is the cost is a bit too high. Sometimes you can fly from Calgary to London for cheaper than you can go from here to Calgary and back, and that doesn't make any sense. So we own the airport, very important, so we have to make sure it runs as effectively as possible.
Airport manager Jeff Huntis says they have just completed an area structure plan.
We are embarking on a study to determine the feasibility of a runway extension, if it's possible, if it makes sense. We're also working on an air service marketing strategy to enhance our existing services with Air Canada and look for other opportunities with new air carriers and perhaps new destinations.
And he says this might help allow WestJet land in the city.
Well, WestJet's just announced a regional airline program that they're hoping to launch in 2013. We will certainly make every effort to make sure WestJet's aware of an opportunity here in Medicine Hat, whatever form that takes, whether it's through a code share or a regional aircraft. But we've got a lot of work to do yet before we're in a position to tout any success on that front.
For Shaw TV, I'm Leanne Evans.